22, 25, now dollar here, 5 down 7, round price 27, a 5 on these seal, lead 25, 27, a 5, give me 7.
Winner increased earnings over $586,000.
On the phone, 320, 320, 320, 320.
Welcome to Beyond the Block by January 2020 edition here at Keeneland Racetrack and Sales Company in Lexington, Kentucky. Keeneland celebrated their 75th anniversary in 2011, and they will be hosting again the Breeders' Cup this fall in November. I think that's November 6th and 7th of this year. The catalog for the Keeneland sale this time has 1,827 horses cataloged, plus maybe about 30 more that are cataloged in the supplement catalog for the first catalog that was run. And last year, about 1,500 horses, a little over 1,500 horses were offered, with sales of $48 million here at Keeneland. It's one of the most beautiful racetracks in the world. Keeneland being the largest sales company in the world for thoroughbred racehorses. Last year, over $627 million worth of horses were sold over a period of about 4 days in January, and 1 day for a 2-year-old in training sale, and then about 12 days in September, around the same days in November. Place, if you had never been to Keeneland, never been to the racetrack here, you want to be sure to put that on your calendar for the races that will be held in April, and also about 3 weeks in October. Looking forward to a fantastic week here at Keeneland this week. $48 million worth of horses were offered last year over 4 days. This year, with the catalog, with 1,827 horses, another day was added. Last year, there was a $5 million top consignment from TaylorMade. So we'll see how things go this year.
He's announced to the 2 winners from the race and affiliates and registered for the brand. Thank you, John.
It's 551, 552, and 553 withdrawn from the sale. That brings us to hit number 554. A quarter, and also Violence had a first out winner.
30, 40, 50, 858, 68, 78, 70, 870 here, not 80, but 80, 22, 25, 5, 7 on there and got a run, now 7. We're down 30, down 30, down 30, down 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 50, down 50, down 8, down. 40, 50, 50, 50, 50, down 50, 140, 150, 140, 50, 60, get about 300,000.
Hit number 604, consigned by Buck Pond Farm, Douglas Arnold Agency. You
got it.
1884 and 85 are both withdrawn.
Thank you, guys.
1886.
It was about right in here, I guess, where I was sitting the first time that I came here to Keeneland. My in-laws live here in Lexington, Kentucky, and my mother-in-law had told me that they were having a Keeneland auction here in September. So I loaded up my son, Brody, who would have probably been about 3 at the time, and brought him out here and I sat here in these seats that you can see here that are outside, actually outside the arena. So I sat here with my son for a few minutes, and I thought, man, I'd just give anything if I could slip in there, because I didn't know if they had reserved seats or you know, kind of what the circumstances were, because the doors were closed, and I could see some what looked like name tags on the inside. But I said, you know, I think I'm going to chance it. So I came out and walked in here, and I slipped right here inside, and I just slipped right here on this seat right here on the corner. And I brought my son here with me, and you can see all these names on the seats that are here. And I just kind of sat here quietly for a few minutes, and I thought I'd really done something, you know, because that I had slipped in. I'd probably stayed in here maybe for, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes, something like that. And they were selling the horses here, and I thought, man, it would just be so cool one of these days to work at a place like this. But I had no clue that anything like that would ever happen for me. Maybe 3 or 4 years later that I met Chris Caldwell.
At 2, 9 3, 2 bid, and 3, and you put up a 3 for 23,000. You do now 3, at 23, then 3 bid, now 4, at 3 and 4, 24 for 5, now 7, at 25, 6 there, at 25, we're going all 36,000. You gonna let that cowboy beat you? I've got 25,000. Who said that? At 5, then 6,000 bid, 3 but at 25, 26,000 over there, Ty, and Hobie, 25,000. Thank you.
It was actually a quarter horse auction, and I had no clue who Chris was, and it was probably about a month later after I met Chris that he called me and wanted me to go to Puerto Rico and work at some thoroughbred auctions. And it was there, after meeting Chris, that I realized the connection with Chris and his dad, who was a senior auctioneer at Keeneland for, I guess, maybe 30 plus years or something like that. So Chris and his brother Scott, also auctioneers at Keeneland, and still are here as well. So it's kind of neat how it all worked out for me, from slipping and sitting in those seats on the other side of the glass to sitting right here where I am, to being able to go from that to this and being here for 15 years now. I started in September of 2005. I had a tryout week, and they put me right here in the safety spot right here in front. And I worked here maybe a year or so, 2 years before I started working back to back. So it's been pretty neat to be here this long, and a lot of good things happened because that I was here, and met a lot of other good people.
20. That's 17, top 20. Here we get 2, we get 2 down, 2 down, 2 down, 9. That's 2, top 5. Here we get 2, we get 5, 2, we get 5, 5 down 7. That's 35, 37. Here we get 40, we get 40, we get 40 down, down 2. How many see in front? Both 42, 42, 45. What a good looker. Both 42, 45, at 42, 45. At 5 down 3. Here we get 3, we get down mark 25, 103 down there. At 5, go 3. I got 7 back, pull it down 3. That's 7 down 3. We can double, how about 10? At 10 down 2, down 3. Here we get 2, we get 3 down there. At 3 down 5. We get 5, get 7, pull it 7, 10. At 7 down 10. Here we get 12, we get 12, we get 15 higher. At 17, here we get 17, pull it down 20, 30,000.
Hip the person. There now, 16. I'll be that's 17,000. Where? We're 17, 16, 17. Gonna go. Here we go. That's 70.
Historic week here at Keeneland for the January 2020 sale. Gabby Gaudet is the first female announcer in the history of Keeneland after celebrating, I think it was 83 years this past year. She was the first female announcer to ever grace the auction block in North America. So congratulations, Gabby. She did a fantastic job. And here's a little clip of Gabby in action.
Hip number 1034, consigned by South Point Sales Agency agent. A chestnut yearling filly by Carpe Diem out of Analyst Music by Not Bourbon. Carpe Diem, his first foals are 3-year-olds of this year. He's produced 3 black type horses in his first crop, including Bella Aurora, who was a recent stakes winner in December. Looking at the family here, the first dam is a half sibling to Bear's Pit, who won the Great.
Now 500, deep in the 5, now 9, at 9, 95, at 95, the unwide, now 2,000, at 5, whatever, 2,000, at 95, now 10, at 95, for lead the lead, up at 95, runs to the lead, now 10, number 2.5, 20 top, 22,000, 1, 2.5.
So that's a wrap on Keeneland for January. 5 days of sales totaled up to over $42 million with a $640,000 top. Not a bad way to start off 2020. And speaking of kicking off 2020, when you're in Lexington, you got to make a stop to Spalding's Bakery for the best donuts on the planet. Box for our son Colton and a bag for the road. Now it's off to Indiana to Osterlings to sell Angus bulls today. Thanks for watching Beyond the Block, and we'll see you next time.